Today I'm going to tell you guys why you should never be afraid to shoot your shot.
Oh, you fancy, huh? Girls, let me see your hands. Wave them at them bitches hating on you with their friends. Girl, you got it.
This is your sign to really put yourself out there when it comes to dating because you'll be pleasantly surprised. And coming from someone like myself who is pretty sheltered and a little bit afraid to do this, I'm going to tell you why and what made me want to do this. So I'm going to go back in time too and tell you, because this is the first time I ever made a bold move like this romantically. So I'm going to tell you the backstory. It's kind of cute. So in my example, I'm actually in college and I'm a college sophomore is when I first ran into said man. Okay. And I was in the sorority, and he was in the fraternity, or rushing for it at the time. And the only reason I knew that was because we had a Facebook group on campus that would tell us if there was new rushies for certain fraternities or sororities on campus, and then they would introduce each other on there if they had social media and tell something about them. And also, too, they would post about events, that kind of stuff, too, because sometimes we did events together on campus. And also, at that point, I was like, oh, I already saw this man's face on there. I'm like, oh my god, he's so cute. And there was other people there too who were rushing, but I left it at that. Nothing else happened at that point. I just saw his face and his name. First name. Okay? So, after that, guess what happened, guys? After he was rushing for the fraternity, what happened was we were in a class together. And not just any class, an elective. A social studies class. That is so random because elective classes are like sporadic and all over the campus. And also I went to a school that was like smaller. It was like, but not too small. Like we still had separate buildings. And if you were like in a science building versus an art building, you really never see each other. Unless if you were like going to your car or to your housing unit maybe. But like it was pretty often where people would not run into each other on campus. And what ended up happening was we were in that class together, and I noticed it was this guy that I had saw on social media, because he was just so striking, and he was even more attractive than in person than he was online. And I was like shook. I was like, oh my god, this man's like the most attractive man ever. And but I saw him, and I saw him walk in with a pink shirt. And in our fraternity on campus, I knew this is a thing that they did. I'm not sure if it's like an initiation thing or a new member thing, but they always wore pink shirts. And I'm like, hey, are you like rushing for the fraternity? Because I also sat in the row that he did. Like we were like a chair or two away from each other. But we didn't really talk more than this at that point, really. But I was like, oh yeah, are you in the fraternity? Because I'm in the sorority and I know that shirt. And he's like, yeah, cool. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Good luck, have fun. And that's about all we had talking. And also at that point too, I was going through like a breakup and also the death of my dad. So like I wasn't really in like a place romantically. So I wasn't really pursuing or pushing anything. And I wasn't really a pursuer either. However, now I'm more so now because of the story. Anyway, I'll tell you. So this man was literally the most stunning man ever, I swear, on campus, in my opinion. Anyway, so anything other than that in class, like maybe we had some group work occasionally in class, but other than that, nothing ever happened. Then that one conversation, I didn't even know if he knew my name, right? Like that's about it. And then at that point, guess what happened, you guys? We kept running into each other on campus. I kid you not, you guys. It kept happening. And also this time, it was not just me. Like I was also there with friends and members of my sorority. Sometimes we walked together in the hallways. And we would run into this man on campus, and not like run into him literally, but like walk past him in the hallways. And we would just be like, and I would say, oh my god, isn't that man so attractive? Like just saying, because he was. He also did NPC bodybuilding at that time and like baseball. He was stunning, I swear. And everyone else agreed, because I was starting to talk about it with other people, because I thought he was so unrealistically attractive that like it was unattainable. So we were all just talking about it. Do you ever do that where like if you see someone so attractive, you just talk about it with your friends? Because even like people in relationships in the sorority were talking about it, because it was like, yeah, he's just attractive. We can all say that, right? We can all acknowledge he's attractive, if that makes sense. So at that point, I was like, okay, he probably doesn't even know my name, whatever. And I wasn't really looking for anything or trying to go after him. After running into each other on campus and after talking to my friends about it, we ended up running into him on campus again. And this time, not in the hallway, at an event. So I found out that he worked at the union which worked out perfectly because my friends and I were there for an event. And it was not a sorority event, but we do have sorority events too in the union. However, this time it was for like a campus-wide event. And I think it was like a dance of some kind because there was a DJ and he was behind like the DJ booth helping on that end with the sound. And I remember at that point, my sorority friends and I were there, okay? And we were talking about it, okay? And there was a bigger group of us, not the whole entire sorority. We were just doing it for fun. And what ended up happening was at this event, I saw him and the good thing is too, I was also under the influence, which worked out in my favor when it came to the situation because we were playing Slap the Bag. Do you guys know what that is? Where you drink out of a boxed wine. Did you guys do that? Is that a Midwestern thing? Anyway, I was a little tipsy, okay? Helped a little bit. Wine drunk, a little wine courage there. So at this point we were talking about it because I'm like, oh my god, that's that guy I was telling you guys about. And like some of my friends there too that didn't know about this situation where I was talking about him because I was like, oh yeah, he's just cute, right? So I kept running into him on campus, right? And he was also the year younger than me, but no problem. And we were all just acknowledging it. And one of my friends was like, oh yeah, Nikki, you should totally go for it. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you should. Because she's like, I live in the same building as him. He's really nice. You should go talk to him. I'm like, are you sure? Because I was like scared. Because that's not a me thing until now. Now that because of the story, I'll tell you why it worked. But anyway, this is why you should shoot your shot anyway. So, the good thing is though, they're like, Nikki, what's the worst thing he can do? Like, go just say hi to him. He's really nice. Just to go say hi, I'm Nikki. Aren't you in the fraternity? So I go over to him for some reason. And I say, hey, aren't you in the fraternity? And he's like, hi, Nikki. I'm like, how does he know my name? He immediately knew my name. I don't know how he knew my name. I don't know how, okay? But I was like, what on earth? He knew my name this whole time? Anyway, whatever. So that means he either knew of me, like, through, like, the fraternity talking about me. I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing, or, like, maybe on that Facebook site, too. Or talking, or maybe he knew my name from class. I don't know, but I don't remember ever exchanging names in that class, to be honest with you. However, so I was like, well, he knows my name, so I might as well go in for it. I had a random thought, and my friends just wanted me to go say hi. That's it. They didn't ask for anything else. They just wanted me to do that. I had the insane idea to ask him to my formal, because my theory was that if he knew my name, that's a good sign. Two, it can just be even a friendly thing. It doesn't have to be anything romantic, whatever. But I was like, hey, do you know that we have like a formal on campus for the sorority? And I know like several of your brothers are going to be, his fraternity brothers, like there was actually a few people that like my friends were dating that were in his fraternity. I'm like, do you want to go to the sorority event with me to the formal? Because your fraternity brothers will be there. And I was like, I don't know where that came from. I don't know what happened there. That is not like me at all. Not like me, whatever, it worked. So I was like, I don't know where that came from, but like that courage just came out of nowhere. And he was like, oh yeah, that sounds like fun. I'll add you on Facebook and then we'll schedule everything. I'm like, okay, cool. Me not thinking is like literally date at all, okay? Because I'm like, oh, it's just maybe like friend thing. Whatever, no big deal. No, date. I swear it was date. We were talking every day too, and he was asking me about like what I was wearing so he could match me. He matched everything. Like I had like blue and black on in my dress. It was badly my shoe. It was so gorgeous. So gorgeous. Stunning. And he also dressed in a blue tie and a black shirt for the event. And we looked so cute together and took an adorable photo. And we ended up hitting it off and ended up dating for years. Years! Isn't that insane, you guys? So this is why you should shoot your shot, because sometimes it can pay off. And as long as if you're being polite, there's nothing wrong with that. But also too, I do understand that like persistence can also be kind of creepy, or like if you're not interested, because there's someone that like has literally been messaging me since like 2008 and it's getting creepy. Like that shouldn't be happening. Like that kind of stuff should not be happening. Like you should be able to understand if like, you know, the feelings are there or not at that point. But whatever. I think we all have someone that we could get a restraining order against, honestly. Or is it just me? Anyway, but honestly, persistence also can work too. And I also think sometimes like the universe will kind of push you to with someone if it's the time. But also too, I was gonna tell you guys that my sister also had a situation where persistence actually works. So this is your sign to go make a move, or more than one move, as long as if you're being respectful. Because if you're being respectful, it doesn't matter. And even, what is the worst thing that they can say? Yes or no? And if they say something rude, you don't want to be with them. You don't even want to be associated with them, right? Like, as long as you're being respectful. If you're both being respectful, it doesn't matter what they say. At least you tried, right? This is your sign to do that. Go do it now. Anyway, I normally wouldn't do that, but I just felt called to it. And I'm so glad I did that, because it really opened me up, and now I'm more willing to do that. But when my sister met her husband now, they worked at the same university, and he was younger, my age, and he approached my sister for like 4, 5, 6 months before she said yes to a date. And she finally said yes, and they're married. And he's the best thing ever. So this is your sign to don't be afraid to make moves when it comes to your love life, because I feel like sometimes you get pushed the right direction when it comes to your love life. And also, if someone's not meant for you, they'll be taken off your path, right? So I'm always a firm believer in that. And also, what is the worst they can truly say to you? No? That's it. Don't be afraid to shoot your shot. And I also think leagues are also overrated too. But anyway, it ended up working out, and not like more than those several years, but I just had to tell you because it was such a cute story, and such a random story. Like, almost like a book, kind of. That's so cute. Anyway, but that was also my first, like, more serious love, too, at the time. But if you guys want any other romantic stories, or any other kind of romantic advice, let me know down below. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!